I know it's here somewhere. Finally. Oh, it's time for the doctor. You're listening to Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. Take it away, doctor.
Well, it's that time again, and the doctor is in. It's time for another Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon netcast. And I'm glad you could join us this week. We are proud members of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. I'm so glad you could join us because we got so much for you. We got more than we usually have. And we usually have quite a bit. So we've got a lot. Anyway, we're going to go to the blog. The blog, of course, being drbill.cc, as it says right there on the bottom of the screen, www.drbill.cc. The .cc, of course, standing for Computer Curmudgeon. Like I said, we got a lot to get to, so let's dive right in, shall we? First item, Microsoft support for Windows XP and Office 2003 will be gone by 2014. You say, Dr. Bill, who cares? 2014, that's years away. Yeah, right. It's not that far. Matter of fact, we were talking about this at work. If we start planning now for our next fiscal year, we go October to October for our fiscal years, and start planning to upgrade from Windows XP on our clients, then by the time we get it done, we probably will be running up against this deadline of 2014. You say, Dr. Bill, does it take you that long? We're talking 2,200 client PCs. It's a lot of PCs. Plus, we have to make sure that all the applications that we run will run on something like Windows 7. Now, you know, Windows 8 may be out by the time we get around to it, but at any rate, it's got to run on the new platform. You know, Windows 7... dirty little secret here, Windows 7 is really pretty much the same platform as Vista. It's just much improved, which is good. But that's the platform that so many people have had problems with older applications not running on. Okay? So we've got to factor that in. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how all this works out. Now, of course, as I mentioned in the post that I did here, we could always move to Ubuntu Linux and LibreOffice. No, not likely, but one can dream. Yes. All right, next item. Dish Network wins the auction. I didn't even know they were having an auction, but anyway, Dish Network wins the auction to acquire Blockbuster assets. Now, you know Blockbuster, the big movie rental DVD rental firm, went belly up and went bankrupt. So their assets, all those stores all across the country, everywhere you go, you see a Blockbuster. It's almost like McDonald's. But at any rate, all those stores, all that stuff has to be disposed of in some way. And I don't mean burned or destroyed. I mean dealt with in some way. And so Dish Network bought them. Bought up all that stuff. Now, what's Dish Network going to do with all those assets? Now, it's true that Blockbuster had a streaming service that they were working on. Yeah, maybe they're going to look at that. I don't know. I don't actually know why they would want to buy it. But they did. So we'll see. Okay. Next item. This one ties in with our Ubuntu and LibreOffice comment earlier, and that is that the celebrations begin for Linux. Linux is turning 20. Wow, 20 years old. Anyway, the reason it amazes me and chagrins me to some degree is that proper usage of that word? I don't know. Chagrin is a word. I just don't know if you can say chagrins me. Sounds a little odd. At any rate, I can remember back before there was a World Wide Web and we just had the internet, I used to hang around in the Usenet news groups. there were various things that I was interested in on Usenet, and so I would be there doing stuff, you know, typing and arguing about VAX VMS. Anyway, shows you how long ago that was. So, but I noticed a post from this guy. He's just this guy, you know. Anyway, this guy, Linus Torvalds. And Linus posted an email in Usenet groups saying, hey, dudes, I'm going to create a new operating system. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty impressive. And it's going to be kind of loosely based on Unix. And I was like, wow. So I saw that email. I personally saw that email. And so I started following kind of what was happening with that because it sounded really interesting. And so anyway, the very, very early versions of Linux, when it was like super pre-alpha, I got a hold of and started playing with. And I've been using it ever since. And I love it. Linux is awesome. Anyway, so it's 20 years old this year. How weird is that it's been that long? But at any rate, hug your local penguin. Yes, if you have a local penguin, you must be watching from very far away. Anyway, next item. Will there be replacement eyes? Weird. What we're talking about here is the scientists have seemed to have grown embryonic eyes in a test tube. They have manipulated the genetic material in such a way that it's making eyes. Ugh. I get a picture of eyes floating around in test tubes. That's just so disgusting. But at any rate, if they're successful, will they be able to create genetically grown eyes that they can then transplant into humans? And would you want one? Ugh. Anyway, sounds rather science fiction-y and weird. But who knows? At any rate, I think I'll keep my eyes and keep them in good health. Yes. Next item. My eyes are just so blue. Anyway, next item. You can now get a modern Commodore 64. Now, here's what's interesting about this. There's so many things about this that are interesting. I've got a picture on the blog. If you want to go look at it, you can check it out. And it looks like a Commodore 64, doesn't it? Just a plain old Commodore 64. Now I remember the Commodore 64. Back in the day, the Commodore 64 was a 64K processing system. In other words, it only had 64K of memory. That's where the 64 came from. These days, we have 64-bit CPUs. Back then, it was like 8-bit. We've come a long way. 8, 16, 32, 64. So now we've kind of come full circle, and we can have a Commodore 64 that's a 64-bit processor. Basically, they've taken a Commodore 64 case, and they've stuck a real PC in it, a modern, real, ordinary, well, not even ordinary, it's a pretty powerful PC that they put in there. And it's pretty cool to think about, really. I mean, wow. And eventually they're going to have an Amiga and a VIC-20. It's just very nostalgic. So, pretty odd. But you can, for like $900, you can get the Ultimate Edition, which has a 1 terabyte hard drive, a Blu-ray drive, and 4 gig of RAM. In what looks like a Commodore 64. That's just odd. And I wonder if the keys go clickety, clickety, clickety like the old days. That would be very strange. You know, we were talking about it at work. We could replace all the PCs in the hospital with Commodore 64s. I'm sure that would inspire people at the level of healthcare. Yeesh. Anyway, just joking, just joking. Hypo Regional has the best healthcare in the region. I'm telling you. We're the top 50 cardio hospitals in the nation. That's cool. Anyway, just saying. Next item. New Google Chrome browser feature will help warn you of bad downloads, particularly drive-by downloads. Drive-by downloads, that's where you're just driving along on the old internet and the system, the website tries to download a malicious something to your system. In this case, Google Chrome. If you say Google Chrome too fast, it becomes Groom. Yes. No. Anyway, Chrome will pop up and go, whoa, dude, something's trying to download. Do you want this or not? And you'd better say no. If you're not intending to download something, you shouldn't download it. And even if you are, you need to question its validity. Yes, because it could be something evil. So there you go. So you need to be careful with your Chromage and your browsers. And that's why they created this new, whoa, feature. Geek Software of the Week time. In case you didn't notice. Anyway, Geek Software of the Week this week is, since we were just talking about malware, Malwarebytes Anti-Malware. It's against malware. Can't you tell? Anyway, awesome program. Awesome Geek Software of the Week. Here's what it does. For those of you that have been wondering, why is my PC slowing down? Special effects. Anyway, what can I say? I'm talented. So, if your PC is slowing down, it may be malware. Evil pieces of code that have infected your system. I'm not talking about just viruses. I'm talking about stuff, crud, cruft from the internet that is clogging the pipes of your system. You said, Dr. Bell, I didn't know my system had pipes. Well, you know, the internet is a series of tubes. Anyway, Geek Software of the Week is Malwarebytes Anti-Malware, and it has so many things going for it. It supports Windows 2000 XP, Vista, Windows 7, 32-bit, and 64-bit. It does light speed quick scanning. I don't know if it really goes at light speed. Probably that's a little bit of hype. Just saying. Okay, ability to perform full scans for all drives, Malwarebytes Anti-Malware Protection Module. That requires registration. There's a free version and a registered version. So there you go. Database updates released daily. Now see, that's the cool part. They keep up with the malware that's out there. That's important. It's one thing to have a malware fighting product. It's another one to keep it updated, and that's what you've got to do. Okay, it has a bunch of stuff, and it's good. So you should try it. Yes. Now, speaking of more malware fighting, the next item, April's Patch Tuesday, will be a big one. Microsoft, as you know, has a Patch Tuesday where they release patches that are things that need fixing in their operating system. Yes. Due to attacks and security risks. And this month, whoa, we've got some big ones. Yes. Matter of fact, there are 17 separate patches and 64 security issues. Wow. So you need to download those patches and install them. Otherwise, your system will be overtaken by crud and junk. This must be the cruddy junky edition. Blah. Sounds terrible, but we're trying to protect your system. We're trying to keep it pristine and clean. That's good. Next item. YouTube Live is now live. Now, like I say in the post, is that like Happy Kitties Are Happy? You know, that old internet thing? Well, YouTube Live is a service, and it is now live. Now, it's not for everyone just yet. It's still in kind of beta, and it's only by invitation, and they haven't invited me, or you either, probably, but hey. But I watched Geek Beat TV live with Callie Lewis and, what's the guy's name? I think his name is like Pete. Sounds about right. Anyway, saw their show live yesterday. And it was pretty cool. So they're working on their new studio. They have a production company called Livid Lobster. I don't know why they made their lobster mad, but they did. And so they call their production company Livid Lobster. And so they're getting new offices, and they're going to have this big fancy new studio. Me, I just work out of my living room. And sometimes my office. But lately my living room. But that's okay. One day, maybe I'll get a green screen and have this cool looking office behind me with lots of activity and people walking around looking important. But you'll know it's just green screen. Anyway, I do want to try it. I want to play with it. I tried it once before and it was terrible. I didn't do a very good job. I'm learning. So when I get it to where it works pretty well, we'll try it again. Maybe I can do it from space. The Dr. Bill Show live from space. That would be odd. I like it. Anyway, YouTube Live. So I watched the show. And it's kind of like Ustream, where you can connect up your camera and show live programming. And I hear that YouTube is also going to be dividing up into channels. We're going to have YouTube channels. That's interesting. So get ready for that. Get ready for many things when it comes to IPTV, Internet Protocol Television. Like this show you're watching right here, which, by the way, you can now watch on Blip TV, Blueberry, Tech Podcasts, let's see, Yod Pod, I think it is. Let me look. VOD Pod. Video on demand is VOD. So VOD Pod, Blip TV, Vimeo, and YouTube, as well as our website. Oh, the website! That reminds me. Check this out. If you go to drbill.cc, drbill.cc, over on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see our little player thing in the top corner where it says Dr. Bill, the Computer Curmudgeon, -drbill.tv. That is now a player with a little white, kind of looks like a little white capsule. If you click on that with your mouse and slide it up and down, I'll do that just for fun. There it goes. Isn't that cute? Anyway, you can scroll through past episodes of the netcast, click on it, and watch it right there. And there's a little doohickey that once you start watching it, you can click the little TV image down in the lower corner of the screen and blow it up to full size. Cover your entire screen with Dr. Bill. Is that good? Maybe you want to keep it very small. Anyway, a new widget on the website. Also, I need to mention, and I don't mention this nearly enough, I'm sorry. There's all kinds of things you can click on the website that will help you save money. You can save money on a Roku box. You can save lots of money on a Cronus True Image, which, by the way, is some software that allows you to image your system to save it from when it's working correctly and it's happy, and before you get infected with something so that you can restore it back. Cool. So there's that. There's shopping at Mac Connection. There's, let's see, there's GoDaddy, where you can save on new .coms for $7.49. That's cool. You can also buy the best-selling and award-winning reader tablet from Barnes & Noble called the Nook. You can click there and save money on that, and it will ship free. You say, well, Dr. Bill, these are all just ads. Yes, but they're opportunities. Opportunities for you to save money. And in the process, help support the netcast, which is good. Recently, somebody bought a whole lot of Acronis through the website, and that was awesome. It helped support the netcast. So I'm just encouraging you to do that. Thank you very much. Anyway, also there's a little thing there where you can sign up for our newsletter. Where is that? Let me look. Oh, yeah, see, it says Dr. Bill's newsletter. Enter your email. Just enter your email there, hit the subscribe button, and subscribe to our newsletter. It comes out every week. And we tell you all about the things that's happening on the blog and all the things that are happening on the netcast. It's just good. So sign up for that too. See, lots of homework for you. You need to do your homework. That's how you learn. Yes. Well, I think we've exhausted yet another netcast. So I'll say that the doctor is out of here.